Hey everybody, welcome to another Toy of the Day here on castorscorner.com, here on our live YouTube page. You can follow us on all social media. We're at Castors Corner. Go to castorscorner.com for a full gallery of these figures, a little bit of history about them, or my feelings about them. I'm your host, Khalil. And so today, here's the thing. As a toy collector, one of the things that we deal with is, do we go all in? Are we a completist? Do we need everything? And a lot of us cheat those lines a little bit. Sometimes we do more, sometimes we do less. Sometimes we figure out a way to bridge that kind of divide. And so today we're going to talk about the Masters of the Universe Mega Construx. A little bit, sort of, kind of. So growing up, He-Man and Masters of the Universe was really the first memory I have in collecting toys. I can remember getting my first He-Man figure. I remember getting Castle Grayskull and Snake Mountain. I remember getting, I think it was Tila, and thinking we were all done. I have very fond memories of the line. And so I find myself going in again and again and again and again. I think I realized I was collecting the Classics line, the originals. I have some of the originals. I have the Classics line. I'm into Origins now, doing Mega Construx, doing the miniatures, doing the world's smallest. I think that's it. I think. I could be wrong. I think there might be one more, though. And so I have one 2000X left. I have Random Am left from that. So for me, I have to question why I'm doing it. So for these guys, Mattel kind of tricked me into it, I will say that. So the Mega Construct Heroes line started, that was just going to be a couple from, different things. So, it was He-Man, but it was Picard, right? It was Skeletor and it was a Borg. And, we thought we were going to get this like eclectic grouping of figures from all these different lines. Never think we would really complete any one genre or one grouping of them. Maybe we'll get all four turtles, but we're not going to get all the other characters. So I was like, sure, I'll go in. Well, once I'm in, I'm kind of in. And so they started to kind of branch out, and they started doing full waves that were just He-Man. And that was okay. They were really hard to get. So much so that I pre-ordered this entire wave here, which we're going to talk about too, from Big Bad Toy Store, because I didn't want to have to chase them. They started at Toys R Us. They were hard to get. The He-Mans were short packed in the cases, or the He-Man characters. Tila was kind of hard to get. Faker was kind of very hard to get. And so over time, I was like, okay, well, they're going to have a new wave. I only want two of the characters in this wave, which we're going to talk about today. But I'm going to buy the whole wave just in case, because I already have Faker. I already have Tila. I have no use for this Evil Lyn. But for like $5 a pop, I'll get these just so I don't have to chase the other ones. Not knowing Walmart and now Target is going to be carrying them. It's just been a mess. But I got them. And these are probably going to go into a box and probably get put into a, I don't know, Toys for Tots or Toy Drive or something at the end of the year, because honestly, I don't need these. But I got them because I needed the other ones, and they were only being sold as a set at the time. Same thing with this stuff. I am not a fan of the Mega Construx line. I will say that. As a fan of building toys and Lego specifically, these are a lot harder to put together. The pieces are a little bit tighter. The colors in the instruction booklets do not match the colors of the pieces, which kind of drives me nuts. And I've, put together and taken apart. I know these are pro builders, master builders. So they're not made for little kids, but I'm not a huge fan of the instructions in the building process with these, to be honest with you. So I have been buying the sets and pulling out the figures and then throwing all the pieces back in the boxes. And maybe someday, if I'm bored and I run out of toys to talk about on this channel, and I'm looking for other projects, or I want a puzzle, or I want something I can do in an afternoon. That's the other thing. I don't like building like one at a time. I know our friend Jesse is taking his time with that Millennium Falcon, but that would drive me nuts. If I start it, I have to finish it. So I don't really want to sit down and do this, so I'm not going to. I think it looks cool. I think they did a good job with it. I have these. We'll be talking about those too. I pulled the figures out of those too. And it's really cool. I mean, it is. It's really cool to get the vehicles. It's really cool to have them in that scale. They'll probably work with the minis kind of well. But I really bought them for the figures. So let's take a look at the figures. My one other pet peeve about these box sets is with the individual figures, like the single cards, you get these nice little stands with their names on them. Okay. With these, you get like these little gray, like leaf kind of stands, which, like, come on. If you're going to do it for one, do it for the other. That's my feeling. So I haven't pulled the weapons out for Triclops and Mechanic, but I think they really nailed these two really, really well. They gave Triclops his sword holster in the back. His visor does completely rotate, so you can pick which eye you want facing forward, and it's tight enough that it stays. The green's really bright. It's really popping. I really like this one. Mechanic, even though he doesn't have the feature where his neck pops up on its own, they did give him the option to do that in varying stages. So you can have just the warrior like this. His head does pop off, so you can see that's what his face looks like without the helmet. You pop the whole head off, and then it comes with two additional parts. So you've got these two. You can put it together for a very, very long neck. Put his helmet back on, maybe. There we go. Helmet. There we go. And, no. So the helmet does pop off and on a little bit if you don't get it just right. And it kind of, you can do it at angles. So you can do it like that. Have it there so it's a little straighter. There we go. That's fun. I think it's a fun action feature. I think it's a really good way to do it. I think they did it with the Classics line. So it's a nice touch. So definitely worth picking up the set for these two. I think it was definitely worth it. And I think it was only $19 on Amazon, which was nice. That was also a nice plus. It wasn't like 30, 40, 50 bucks. It was a lot cheaper. And I am kicking myself because the sets that came out last fall really dropped in price over the holidays. And I'm kind of kicking myself because I couldn't return them for the price match. So the single cards that I got come with instructions, which is nice. You get a nice little instruction sheet with them. Tells you who comes in the wave. So it's the 5 that are in that wave in that set. And this one, we got Stinkor with his shield and blaster. And like very, very upset face. The blue's really bright. The orange is cool. It's a perfect figure. I mean, really well done. Fisto comes with his big purple sword, which is the same sword you get with Triclops in this set, only it's green. I just didn't dig it out of that bag yet. He definitely has his classic look, although for whatever reason, the armor they gave him has no sides. So instead of like a piece that kind of goes over or clicks together in the middle, it just kind of sits. So it's just kind of like a, I don't know, whatever, poncho. Giant metal fist, of course. Now, the weird thing is, I think they were going to give him his crown from the 2000X line. And then at the last minute, they must have chickened out or costed out because unlike some of the other characters, he's got a hole in the top of his head, which was clearly to be able to put something on top. We see that with the other characters so that you could put hair on them and things like that. But because he's got the slick back hair, they just left it alone. So he does look a little bit odd when you're looking at him or when you're photographing him. That little hole really does like draw your attention because it's just a giant hole on top of his head. I kind of wish they had either given him real hair or a crown. I think it would have looked better. But there you go. My 4 new He-Man Mega Construx figures. I'm happy to have them. Like, I'm excited. I have no idea where they're going to live at some point, someday. I've seen a lot of people take some of the bigger figures and have these guys be their action figures. I think that's a really cool use of it. I think that's really fun. Someday, I have all the sets so far. So I built the Wind Raider, which was okay, but I had to take it apart twice because of the instructions not being super clear. I have the Roton. I've got the Point Dread. And I did get Castle Grayskull when it was on sale. So I've got all the sets. So someday there might be a building session for the weekend where I put together all of them and put them all together. Maybe they'll do a Snake Mountain and then it'll make it worth it. Or an Eternia playset. That'd be a lot of fun. But I think between the artwork and the fun of these and, you know, putting these in different sizes, these are perfect size for desk toys. I think it's pretty cool. So Big Bad Toy Store and Walmart is like drowning in these single packs. So you could probably still get these wherever. And Amazon is just starting to ship these, and I think they're showing up on other retailers too. So this is the newest set. And we'll take a look at some of the other ones at some other point, but these guys were in my room. Thank you guys for watching us. Remember to follow us. We are at Kastor's Corner on all social media. Check out the archive, the playlist below. Remember to subscribe. It really helps. The bigger we get, the more we get to do. And our new podcast, the Cornercast podcast, this week with our friend Nick Greer from the Toy Reporters in Chicago, is up on Apple Podcasts. You can check that out. Episode 123, I think we're at, which is amazing. And we've got some really fun ones coming up. We were out. I'll surprise you. Or maybe we'll talk about it tomorrow. Thanks for watching, guys. And remember to go to the website for a full gallery of these so you guys get a nice close-up of what these really look like. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.